Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel to 1,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate if you could hit the subscribe button. So today we're going to look at the poem Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. Shelley was born in 1792 in Sussex, England, educated at Eton and Oxford University. He was expelled from university for his anti-war and anti-monarchical views, and he did not like cold, distant leaders as seen in this poem. Shelley died aged 29 in a drowning accident in Italy. So Ozymandias, also known as Ramses II or Ramses the Great. Ramses II, or Ramses the Great, was known as Ozymandias to the Greeks. He was Pharaoh of Egypt from 1279 to 1213 BC. He built huge memorials or statues to himself, including the one mentioned in this poem. Ozymandias instructed that his face and words should be deeply carved into the stone so that they would last forever. What is your opinion of building statues of great leaders? This poem is a sonnet. A sonnet has 14 lines. The first 8 lines tell the story of the poem, known as the octet, and the last 6 lines give us the message, the sestet. There are 10 regular beats per line, and the rhyme scheme is AB, AB, AC, DC, EDE, FEF. So let's look at the 2 stanzas, the octet and the sestet. Ozymandias. I met a traveller from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear: My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. So let's look at the first 8 lines, the octet, line by line in more detail. So I met a traveller from an antique land who said, Shelley never saw the statue of Ozymandias, but he heard about it from someone who had travelled to an antique land, an ancient place, and this is Egypt. 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. The traveller told him of what he had seen. 2 huge stone legs, vast, with no body, trunkless, stand in the desert. So this is what remains of the huge Ozymandias statue. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies. So near the 2 stone legs, half buried in the sand, half sunk, is a broken face, a shattered visage, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command. So on this shattered face, you can still see the frown of Ozymandias, the wrinkled lip, the lines on the face, wrinkles, and the sneer of cold command. So you can learn a lot about Ozymandias' personality by the expression that is shown on the statue's face. Tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive. The sculptor knew Ozymandias, the tyrant, the cruel leader, very well. He captured the character of the tyrant very well by putting a frown, wrinkled lip, and sneer of cold command. The cold expression still survives on the broken face. Stamped on these lifeless things. The sculptor must have been very skilled to so accurately capture the personality of the pharaoh. He breathed life, he gave expression to a lifeless thing, a stone. So the features of Ozymandias' face are stamped, etched deeply into a lifeless thing, a stone. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. The sculptor's hand made the cruel expression, the true character, on the tyrant's face. He was mocking, making fun of the cruelty of the tyrant, and put that expression on his face for all eternity. The pharaoh had a cruel heart, and the sculptor captured this in his expression. So it's as if the sculptor is having the final laugh, because that statue forever and ever will have that cruel expression on it. Today, only a broken statue remains in the desert. We can still see the cruel expression that the sculptor put on the face. The artist, through his work, is able to achieve immortality, live forever and never be forgotten, but the king is dead. The art lives on after the death of the sculptor. So the sculptor is also benefiting from making this statue. Ozymandias wanted to be immortal by having lots of statues of himself, but the remaining statues show a cruel expression. This is how the sculptor mocked Ozymandias. The artist achieves immortality through his work remaining after he died. Sestet, the second stanza, 6 lines. And on the pedestal these words appear. Pedestal is this area of the statue. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. He says, I am the most powerful king. But in reality, people are looking at a broken statue. Doesn't look very powerful in the end, now does it? Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Ozymandias is sending a message out to all future leaders to look at his statue, ye mighty, powerful leaders, and despair, and be amazed at how small you are, and look at me, how powerful I am. Ozymandias wanted powerful men to look at his statue when he is dead and despair, to lose hope because of his strength and make them feel weak. This is actually ironic. Ironic means a situation that is strange or funny, because things happen in a way that seem to be the opposite of what Ozymandias expected. It's ironic because they are just looking at a broken statue that does not look very powerful at all. Powerful men will despair for a different reason when they look at this broken statue. They will realize that they too will die and not live forever. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Ozymandias was once a cruel, powerful leader who made lots of statues to himself to remind people of how powerful he was. Now There is no sign of his power. Nothing remains besides. Nothing beside remains. Just a broken statue. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, his huge statue, colossal, is broken, wreck, and has broken over time, decay. Just sand surrounds it now. The sand has no boundaries, it is boundless, and there is nothing growing in the desert, it is bare. Again, it's the sand here that's immortal, not Ozymandias' statue. The lone and level sands stretch far away. So the sands stretch into the distance. They represent the sands of time. They are never ending, and the statue is just like a speck of dust in the middle of the desert. The so-called powerful statue is now decaying in a remote and unseen place, with no one to look upon his works and despair. There are many contrasts in this poem. The statue that was once magnificent is contrasted with the ruin that is now half buried in the sands. The description of the tyrant's character contrasts with the shattered and decaying statue in the sand. The Pharaoh wanted to be remembered forever, but it is the sculptor who has actually lived forever, as his work has survived. Alliteration, words starting with the same consonant. Boundless and bare, lone, level, sands stretch, cold command. If you found this video helpful, please click the subscribe button and come back for more videos to help you with your exams.